Hello, welcome back to the course, and in this video we'll be looking at changing our file to a PHP file and adding all the input data for input tags so that we can start receiving data. So the first thing we need to do is to rename this file to index.php. So what that means is your browser is going to recognize it as a PHP file and execute PHP queries. So the next thing we need to do is let's minimize this. The next thing we need to do is to check and be sure that our form variables are intact. So we have to give them a name. I have to give it a name. So this label class form. So the next thing we need to do, okay, that will be for this. This is for the label. This will be for this. So we're going to say name. We can name it task. Now this name is constant for every input, but whatever you use here is based on your preference. So name is task. So what that means is for any time we're submitting a file, submitting a request, it identifies it with this name in PHP. So now we go back to our browser and we go to to-do app, index.php. So we have it here. So whatever we submit here, if we have more than one input, PHP identifies each different input based on the name you give them. So we have saved that file. The next thing we need to do is to give a name to our button. So we'll give it name. Call it submit, and let's save it. Also, one more thing we need to do, we need to ensure that our form has action and so action is going to determine where the code will be run. That's for the action. It tells you if you are running on the same page, you can leave it blank. But if you're running on an outside page and the start out page, you put the name of the page, the URL. The next thing we're going to have method. So our method is called post. So in the beginners our course for PHP, you will learn post and get method. So for this one, we are going to be using post because we are going to be posting the items directly into a database. So what we do next now is we are going to be creating at the bottom of our file, we're going to be creating our PHP tags. So we're going to be using the function if is set $_post. So what that means is when the button submit, the button with the name submit is clicked. So when we click this button with the name submit, and this button we have here, with the name submit, when we click on it as the save button, it should take an action. So we are saying if it's set submit, create a variable called task name. We're creating this new variable task name, then assign it to $_post. So let's close this. So what post are we assigning it to? We are assigning it to this task. So we assign the task. Now let's see. Let's try and see echo dollar task name. So hello. You can see hello at the bottom. We've asked it to echo what we type. So that means if is set is working. So we can delete this. So we're saying if the submit button is clicked, we should do this. Now after doing this, we should create a variable and assign it. So after assigning it, the next thing we need to do is to create an insert function. So we are going to insert what we've collected. So the first thing we need to do is we use the insert function. Insert. Okay, we need to have our tags. Insert into. What is our table name? Remember, in our database, we created a table called to-do list. So insert into to-do list. Then we say set. So what we want to set now is the name. Set to do underscore name. Set to do underscore name to be equal to dollar task name. So what we're saying here is when the insert function is run, in that table called to-do list, we should set the to-do name to be whatever is in this task. And you remember, whatever that is in this task is what we have posted from the form, from the post form. Is that right? So we then have a query. Query is a constant MySQLi underscore query. And then we have $con, which is our connect, and we have $insert. So let us remember to link our database at the top. Remember to include our database. So we're going to use a simple function, include db.php. So we're saying that on this our file, go to db and get the database and use it here, because on its own it cannot locate the data. It cannot locate the database. So we're using this file, linking it to this file called db.php, so that we can use its parameters to get access to the database. So that's the reason why we're having this connect here. So we are saying create a query variable and say MySQLi underscore query $connect and $insert. So where do we get $connect from? From the db.php. Now we can now say if $query is true, echo inserted successfully. Else, if something went wrong, echo failed So insert, and let's save it. So what we did next, let's get to our file. So we are getting connected to database. So what we can do, if we leave it that way, it's going to be appearing on every page, connected. So we can change our query. We can say if not connected. If not connected. So if we are not connected, say not connected. So but if we're connected, you just say nothing, right? So it doesn't have to tell us every other time. So we can save now. So even when we refresh, we are connected, but it doesn't say anything, so it doesn't disturb us. So we can now say task, let's say hello, and let's click on save. Now inserted successfully, and we can go to our database and see, and let's refresh and see if the data was inserted. So we have a data hello inserted successfully. So in our next video, we'll show how to I'll show you how to display what you've inserted here, and then I'll also show you how to have a default for whatever task that is inserted. It should automatically show in progress even without you typing it. So I'll show you in the next video. If you have any challenge while doing this, please go through the video again and again, and I can assure you it's very simple and clear. You should be able to get it. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.